I don't normally do this kind of thing, but I gotta get the word out there because a lot of people talk about awful albums and they think like this stuff that comes out nowadays is pretty bad. But I mean, once you've really dug and gotten into like record collecting and stuff, you come across some really weird shit. And what I'm gonna tell you about today is this little album called Saturday Night Fiedler, or Fiedler, or Fielder. I don't know. I just call it Fiedler. Anyways, this album, the best way to explain it is it's basically a pop orchestra rendition of disco music. It came out of the era, and it's exactly what you would think it sounds like. I mean, honestly, I don't know what kind of audience this was aimed towards at all, because if you listen to the album, it doesn't even sound professional. It sounds like something like a middle school orchestra. Like nobody knows how to play their instruments right. They can't keep in time. They ain't even feeling the music, and it's fucking disco. And I mean, you can look at it as an old guy just having fun. He thinks it's hip and shit. But honestly, if you actually listen to the album, it just sounds terrible. It's awful. Alright. First thing, just look at this album cover. You can't miss this. I'm amazed you don't even see this on lists for worst album covers ever made. Like, first of all, I mean, you know, his suit ain't even matching. You can tell it's probably a rental. I get it, okay? Not everybody could afford a badass leisure suit like that back in the day. These lights, they don't even work right. He's not standing on the right kind of floor. He's probably standing on a wood floor. Somewhere in the recording studio or something like that. Another thing is, if you look at the back, you get all this shit. Him panoramic looking. It's kind of creepy. Honestly, he looks like a happy old man. But, you know, this doesn't make me want to buy the product. This just turns me off. Real bad. I mean, you got this long poem thing. Poem, too. I can recite this damn thing, and you're not going to believe it. It takes itself so seriously. Like, some real passion went into this. You know, even though I'm not hearing any passion the whole time I listen to this fucking thing. Let me see. I'll just read the first paragraph here. One thing I have always believed in is music as a universal language. And my years with the Boston Pops reflect the range and scope of this interest as we work our way through a vast repertoire from country to classics. Okay? Young people are always a key to the success of the pop season. Okay. In keeping with the forward motion of their tastes and preferences, and both a challenge and a great privilege for me to pursue. He's saying that about this. About this album. Not something where they're playing some serious music, or something original that they wrote that might be upbeat or cool or anything. No! We're talking about disco renditions. Okay? Disco covers by an orchestra. Alright. So I looked into this guy, Arthur Fiedler, and actually, he had a really prestigious career. He did a lot of big shit in the time he was around. He was the conductor of the Boston Pops Orchestra. It was starting from like 1930 all the way until the day he passed away in 1979. And ironically, this is his last record, you know. God rest his soul. Like I said, he probably did a lot of big things in his career, which he did. But this album has to be his worst. If he is worse than this, then I don't know how to feel about the guy. I mean, the guy even has a memorial to him with a big bust of his head. You know, it's pretty cool. But this album, I think what it was is that the band itself was not into the material at all. Like I said, they didn't feel it. You know? Either that or they didn't spend any time trying to learn it because they didn't take it seriously, which I don't blame them. It's kind of a ridiculous idea. Fans of this kind of music were probably not listening to disco on the side. You know, I can't imagine a lot of young people or even nerds back in '79 were listening to this kind of stuff. And the older generation that were fans of like swing and big band and orchestral adaptations and all that, I can't imagine that they would have been a fan of this kind of music, this album. So, I mean, I'm not sure what you would call it, really. It's an enigma to me. But yeah, I can't recommend it to anybody, even people that are into oddities and just these freak albums and all that. Even the album cover, although it looks kind of geeky and shit, and it looks goofy because this old guy trying to look hip and everything. It doesn't even work for that because it's kind of a sad story behind him because he passed away not long after that. And if you really want to listen to this guy Arthur Fiedler, check out his other stuff. Don't listen to this record because I'm sure he wouldn't want you to listen to this record.